Hello and welcome back to the Shmuseum. Back home, in fact yesterday went up to see the AMG GT Black Series to see how that was doing over on the Shmee 150 channel. But we need to do a bit of an update on what's going on here. We've got a few things in the works today. I'm quickly going to point out that we have some added skid marks on the floor. The guys have definitely been having some fun with the go-kart while I've been away. We've actually rearranged all of the cars. You can see at the moment, this is super nerdy. I'm sorry for this. But to look visually pleasing, everything is in height order. We worked out which car was the tallest, and we've got the G, the Heritage, the Yaris, the M3, the C63 Black, the GT4, the Vantage Roadster, the GTR Roadster, and then coincidentally, the cars currently on the opposite side happen to be all of the cars that came with smart chargers. Yes. All the cars that are in the permanent collection, we could say. Obviously some of the others are as well, but those are all the cars, well, everything's on a CTEK here at the Shmuseum, but those are all of the cars that happen to come with one and coincidentally happen to sit over on this side, obviously to be joined by more in the future. But today we need to run over a few things. We've got some, I think, parcels arriving, a couple of things I'd like to show you as well, more on the memorabilia front. If you're wondering about sunglasses, it's not because I still think I'm over in Miami, it's because something's a little bit wrong with my eye at the moment. But we'll run over a few things today, a few errands to run, a few visitors later on, and plenty going on here at the Shmuseum. Over here, we still have all of the center parts, the Yaris exhaust, the C63 exhaust. We've got some jack stands because the guys had the C63 up to do the wheels. We're going to have a look at those in a moment. But also, thanks to the team over at Michelin, we now have a set of new tyres for the Cayman GT4. For the 718 GT4, we've got a new set of Michelin Pilot Sport Cup 2s. We've got the rears here, gigantic tyres, sticky rubber, perfect, of course, for a perhaps imminent trip with that car to a track. Hopefully we can have some fun. We need to get the fronts, which I believe should be turning up later on today. If they do, we can go and get the full set of 4 fitted up on the car. Over here we've got a stack of different tyres, including some new PS4Ss that are going to be going on the Vantage Roadster as well. So we'll hopefully be able to sort those out. But obviously while I was gone, the guys very kindly did a little change to the C63 Black Series. So we now have the silver lip back on that, thanks to the team at Whoops as well. That is looking, I think, a little bit more how this car should look, with the satin black wheels with the silver pinstripe as opposed to the full gloss black. Cars all on their different chargers. Obviously when we had moved them all around, we needed to work out the optimum way to use all the CTEKs, and there are so many different accessories and things as well, like the extension leads. If we come down here, for example, we need one more to go on there, but if we come all the way, yeah, here for example, you can see you can get these very convenient extension leads. So we're going to get a few more of those so we can get every car plugged in properly with the minimum kind of cable mess, because you want it all to be tidy, right? So we're going to have all of that. Yeah, things are good. I want to show you what we've got inside these 2 boxes, and to do so, delicately perch them on the wing of the center. Now the center has 800 kilos of downforce, so several people could stand on that wing. A few boxes is not a problem, and of course we've got PPF as well. Now on YouTube, when you reach 100,000 subscribers, or 1 million subscribers, or 10 million, or I think even 100 million, they actually send you a play button, a reward plaque that you can mount on the wall, whatever it might be. And I have the original ones, of course, from when the Shmee 150 channel reached 100K and then when it reached 1 million, but they did actually change and update the design, and I've ordered some of the new ones because the Shmuseum channel that you guys are watching is actually just shy of 100K subscribers. A huge thank you to all of you, because I guess we're very soon to get there, which is super exciting. But I want to show you what these look like, the newer style, because I've never opened these on my channel anywhere, because obviously I had the original ones, which I'm going to be keeping at home, and we'll have these up here in the office when it comes time to get all of that installed. But inside here we have, you've just done something that very few YouTube creators accomplish. You had an astonishing 100,000 people subscribe to your channel, which is insane to think about. 100,000 people. That's a big football stadium or a small town. That's a lot of people. And inside here then, you get the silver play button presented to Shmee 150 for passing 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. Really, really cool. And actually they make the silver and the gold that we're going to see in a moment basically match one another. So if I close this for a second and pop that over to the side, this is of course the big one for now. 10 million would be nice, but that seems a little bit unachievable. Anyway, let's have a look at what we've got inside here. To be honest, 1 million seemed unachievable. 100,000 seemed unachievable back then. You're bigger than Vancouver, you're bigger than Venice, you're even bigger than Las Vegas. 1 million subscribers. bigger than some very big cities. And inside here, have a look at this. The gold play button presented to Shmee150 for passing 1 million subscribers. Obviously all fully packaged. As I said, I ordered these new set of them and we'll get these mounted up, but it will be really cool. Thanks to you guys when we've got the Shmuseum 100K one to join these. So a bit of fun, obviously been kept away since I ordered the new styles, but this is exactly what having the garage here is all about being able to show all of these different items. These will go for safekeeping for the time being, but I'm thinking eventually when we're able to get them mounted up, you know, we're going to have a lounge type space here at the entrance. That would be a no-brainer and the perfect place to put them. So hopefully that's what we'll do in the future. We are going to pull out the Ford GT. I say we, Tom is going to pull out the Ford GT. Indeed. We're going to get this outside because it needs a bit of a clean. And this is something we're battling a little bit here as everything's moving around. We have quite some dust on cars that have been sitting here. And this has basically been sitting here the whole time that we have been at the garage.
Yes, unfortunately we've been fighting the dust and haven't particularly had time to get everything as clean as we'd like to.
Over time, this will all get significantly better, but remember we have new concrete that was only laid a couple of months ago and lots of other things that have been going on as well. And yes, that's all going to evolve and get a little bit better over time. So we're going to take this out and then Tom's going to give it a rinse down, get the car tidied up and looking a little bit prettier as well. Which always means a bit of a startup. Sounds good. Sounds very good. That car looks so cool. The other thing I need to apologise for is any background echo here in the garage. It is a bit of a battle that we do have to fight, but let me come round and get the shutter open so we can get the car outside into the sunshine today to go and get it cleaned up just a little bit, get rid of some of that layer of dust over the top. Tom is now very quickly cracking on with all of that. We've got all of the washing stuff currently in that corner. We do need to find a way to store all of this. Obviously, we're going to have much more by way of car washing equipment as time goes by. I need to come up with some kind of cupboard somewhere near the entrance. The other thing we're trying to work out is what to do with microphones and audio here in the garage. Now, when I'm talking to you guys, I have a mic on, so you can hear me very clearly, and we don't have massive echoes that come from being in a very big barn. When, however, we're filming other things, we haven't yet found the perfect solution. So trying to work this out when we've got multiple people and see what the best choice of equipment is really, all part of the learning process here on the Shmuseum channel, things being a little bit different. So let's go see how the car washing is going to go and get the Ford GT tidied up.
Tim, what are we doing?
What we're doing is asking Tom. Tom, what are we doing?
I've got no idea. What are we doing?
I hope one of us knows.
I believe we're going to try and get some dust off of this. We're going to snow foam it, rinse it down, get it dried. I don't think it needs much more than that because underneath the dust it is still actually clean.
It is.
It hasn't moved since it was last cleaned, but yes.
The problem is that the sun is out.
Yeah.
Isn't it funny that the sun comes out in the UK for once and we're saying that it's a problem?
Yes, when we don't need it. I mean, we shouldn't complain because it doesn't come out often enough, but it obviously isn't helpful for car washing.
The other problem is that as soon as it's clean, I'm probably going to take it for a drive and then it's going to need it clean again.
Yep. Thanks for that.
It's life. Part and parcel of it. Colour's looking nice in the sunshine though. Colour's looking very nice. Out here it doesn't actually even look that dusty. That's one of the kind of weird things about being inside in the garage. You don't realise how it's actually quite nice. This is looking better. Thank you, Tom.
Better, right?
Much, much cleaner.
Yeah, it was a bit of effort, but we got it done. I always forget how difficult it is cleaning this with all of the aero on it. Mm-hmm. The foam ends up getting absolutely everywhere, and it's a nightmare to dry, but we eventually got it there.
I think basically this area just inside the shutter at the front is quickly becoming the car drying space. Obviously, we will have a building here, so that's not ideal, but we'll work it out exactly. Just when I've got the tie cat here as well. past me. Nicely straight. Yeah, we did that well. Perfect. Good job. Enough space for the doors to open. We'll get the CTEK charger plugged back into it here. And yeah, life's good. Nicely parked. Thanks, Tom.
Tom, what have you got?
I have some Sport Cup 2s for the front of the GT4, which never arrived with the rear, so now we can get these on.
This is a good thing. We were waiting for these to come.
We were.
Perfect.
This means I can go and do some donuts and burn the old ones off, right?
We're going to see about that. Maybe.
Yeah.
Did I just kind of give permission for that?
You did.
It might have happened. Anyway, we're also joined today as well by the team from Electroheads. How you doing, guys?
Hey.
Eilis, Richard and Cole down there in the go-kart.
This is a lot of fun, man.
It's a good like film prop for bombing around, basically. It's like, off you go. Yep. Gone. Too much fun has had with that. The guys have made many marks on the floor. But you've come out today, you bought the ID4.
We have, yeah. We did drive out from the ID4, but now looking at the Porsche Taycan, I'm a little bit jealous that maybe we didn't rock up in that one.
Like a swap for the journey back home.
Yeah, if you want to trade, well up for it.
We'll see. We've basically, we've been filming a piece, plugging two cars into one. Of course, here we installed the CTEK Chargestorm Connected 2, which means you can plug in two cars at once, which has been quite beneficial for me on multiple occasions already when I've had the Taycan as my daily plugged in. Quick charge up as well with the ID4 to get you guys back. Yeah, it does the job nicely.
Yeah, we'll buy you a pint for the charge that we've taken. Yeah.
That's no problem. But I guess it's a little bit unusual for you guys about around so many.
Yeah, I mean, we are Electroheads, but we're very impressed by all the cars that you've got here. And, you know, maybe we'd like to have a drive on a couple or something.
Okay, for a spin around the block. Yeah. Who knows? Well, thanks for coming down. Thanks for shooting the video.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Absolute pleasure. The Electroheads guys have just departed, so we've been packing up things over in this corner where we have the EV charger. Now, this is very much what I want to call a work in progress. While we're trying to set the final layout, this will change a little bit to optimize how we're going to do it all. But given we are talking EVs, I want to touch on something quickly. We've also got, of course, here at the Shmuseum, a lot of Mercedes-Benz cars, and they have recently launched the new EQS. Now, the EQS in some ways is an equivalent, you could say, to the Porsche Taycan, large luxury electric saloon, but unfortunately with the current travel rules and restrictions, I was unable to go and check it out, but in my absence, Shmark150, business manager of Shmee150, did go over to Germany and Switzerland to go out for a journey with the EQS to see what it's about. So let's head over to Mark to see his thoughts.
Yes, thanks Tim. We are here near Zurich in a tree museum, as you can see, and we parked the EQS in the middle of the museum to have a proper look at this brand new model that came from Mercedes-Benz. This particular car is 1 out of 4. So the platform that's under the skin of the EQS in front of us will have 4 variants: the EQS, the EQS SUV, the EQE and the EQE SUV. As I have to say, the naming structure is quite interesting. All are under the EQ brand, which is the full electric brand from Mercedes-Benz. There will be an AMG model of this as well. There will be a Maybach variant as well. So there are numerous models and variants coming out over the coming months and years. This particular model I've been driving is the 584 Matic, which means that you have dual motors. So you have a motor on the rear axle and a motor on the front axle. There's another model as well, which is the 450 Plus, where the plus stands for, you know, a longer range in that regard, and it only has a motor on the rear axle. So what can I say about the EQS as a whole and this particular model lineup? Total range out of the battery pack that's between both axles is 780 kilometers. What does that mean? That means that if you want to drive from, for instance, Stuttgart to Monaco, you only have to charge twice, and then the charging itself only takes about 15 minutes to get you 300 kilometers of range, which is really, really interesting, because you then only have to charge twice for 15 minutes, and you would stop anyhow to go to the toilet or to get something to eat. And that allows you to have a much more relaxed drive and a much easier way of being able to cope with the range anxiety, for instance. What can I say more? 11% to 80% in 30 minutes. You've seen that before from other models in this space. Max charging speed 200 kilowatts, 400 volt architecture, And this particular model has 524 horsepower and 855 Newton meters of torque. 0 to 100 in 4.3 seconds. And a top speed of only 209 kilometers an hour. A few interesting details that came from the S-Class are, for instance, the rear wheel steer. You might have seen that in Tim's video about the S-Class. It has the ability to do 10 degrees of steering, but also the setup and the the hardware is in the car all the time. But if you didn't spec it from factory, you only have 4.5 degrees. But then over the air you can have an update, or you can buy the specification and then you have 10 degrees. So you can always take it later. If it's not something you want to spec initially, you can always take it later. A few other things to note: adaptive suspension, also something we've seen on the S-Class. And the really sleek nature of the body of the new EQS allows it to be the most best aerodynamic profile of a road car ever. It is the CW value is only 0.2, and that's the lowest value for a production car ever. So this will help you keeping range and not having to charge that often. It's all the little bits that help making that car reach that 780 kilometers of range. What else can I say about my experience behind the steering wheel? The EQS as a package is really meant for people that need to go from A to B to C to D in the most comfortable way possible. Don't expect any driving engagement, don't expect any major connection with the car. I felt while driving that I was quite disconnected from it. The steering isn't as precise, it's quite wafty in that regards, how it comes across. Of course it's nippy because it's an electric car, but it's not really engaging to drive. If you want to compare this to, for instance, Tim's Taycan Turbo S or an e-tron GT, it's a total opposite end of the spectrum. So this car isn't as engaging to drive. A few other things I can say: the adaptive suspension the car has is lovely, but it, when the road isn't as smooth or there are a few bumps on it, then it becomes a bit juddery and a bit nervous. I'm not 100% sure that I really like that. Other things, there's, for instance, the bonnet can't be opened on this particular car, so you have only boot space available, which is quite sufficient. I will show you that. But if you, for instance, want to fill up your washer fluid, you have this little compartment here, and that opens up, and then you put the fluid in there, and then you close it again. So you're not able to open that. Only the dealer can do that when it needs to do any service. I can show you the rear compartment as well quickly before we go inside the interior. I will use my foot, kick it, and it opens up. As you can see, quite a lot of space in the back. Even though the roofline is going down quite quickly, you still have quite a decent amount of space. It's quite deep. So let's have a look on the inside of the new EQS, and then going to touch on some of these really funky features, of one of which is the comfort doors. So let's have a short look on the inside of the new EQS. And before I do that, I have a little bit of a party trick I want to show you. First of all, this is the key of the EQS. If I keep the button for open pressed, look what's happening to the car. It opens the door automatically. This is available for all 4 doors, and it allows you to step in easily into the new cabin of the EQS. As you can see, a lot of materials and colors that we've seen from other models in the S lineup and from Maybach. So nothing too new there. There's, however, one particular thing I really want to show you, and that is in front of us as a driver and a passenger. So let's jump inside of the car and let me show it to you. So in front of you, you have this major display, this huge display, which goes all the way from the right hand side to the left hand side of the car. You will have a display in front of you for the driver, one in the middle, as you can see, and you have one for the passenger. And the passenger can control navigation, multimedia, can talk to the voice control by itself. You can also listen to music, connect a Bluetooth headset, you know, and these kinds of functionality will also be available for the passengers in the rear. So if you ever want to have your passenger set a navigation destination, then this person can do that on the passenger display, and then you move it to the main display and you continue your route. On the main display, there are a few new things to see. Of course, first of all the EQ functionality, which is connected to it being an electric car, of course. Yeah, that's of course all logical. But interestingly, as you can see, the menus are placed on top of the navigation screen, so they're more like pop-ups, not really menus anymore. So that's a new feature for the MBUX, which is more like an evolution, and it has a lot of little new details and additional information in connection to charging stations and all this kinds of stuff. So it's really nicely done by the people at Mercedes. The car has 8 charging USB-C ports, so you can charge many devices. Then there are 3 wireless charging pads. One is over there, one is in the middle here, as you can see, and then there's one in the rear as well, in the middle armrest at the rear. So you can charge many devices, tablets, phones in this car. There's also some space underneath here to store some stuff. So yeah, there's a lot of space, great build quality, lovely interior. I must say, voice control works pretty decent. I must say, even for people with a dialect, you know, not natural English speaking people, they have no problems whatsoever with the voice control. Yeah, and it's just a wonderful cabin to be in and to experience while driving. It really fits to the nature of the EQS, which allows you to be transported in all comfort and quality and luxury. So let's go to the rear of the car, and then I'll open the door at the rear, and then you can see the rear compartment. As you can see, lots and lots and lots of space, especially lots of legs room between the front seat and the bench. Benches are quite short, I must say. Also in the front, they're quite short. Could have been a touch longer for people with longer legs. And as you can see, there's also plenty of headroom. If I jump in quickly, you can see how much space I have with my legs, more than enough space. And you can see also at the hyperscreen in front, which is 56-inch in total, 3 displays there. And then if you want, you can have multimedia screens at the headrest of the front seats as well. Yeah, this is just the quality we know from the S-Class, from the Maybach as well, S-Class. So yeah, lovely place to be. And loads and loads and loads of features in the MBUX. As you know, and maybe have used MBUX, there are a lot of settings, options, features that you can set up, and yeah, which are lovely to control and make the pleasant environment inside of the cabin. So this was a short look at the new EQS, which is the new model that was introduced by Mercedes earlier this year. I hope you liked the little look at the new car, and hopefully we'll be able to have it soon inside the Shmuseum for Tim to have a closer look at it. So yeah, thanks for watching and looking through the new car with me, and I hope to see you soon. Back to you, Tim.
I'm actually really interested to find out more about the EQS. I've not been able to spend any time in it yet, but a big thanks to Shmark for the update on that front. Here though, today at the Shmuseum, we've done a few things behind the scenes as well. Obviously, we do now have all of the tyres for the GT4. We might go and see what we can do with that. We'll get those changed. We need to do the Vantage ones as well. We're just waiting on 2 more Pilot Sport 4S's for the Vantage. Those will come in soon. We also have the Ford GT. Nice, clean and shiny, as it should be. And obviously, as I said, we do have at the moment this slight dust issue. It was always going to be the way with a new build, and it will be the way, especially as we start to put up the mezzanine and office construction as well. That's just something we have to live with for the time being. Obviously, down the line, it will settle and it will be much easier to keep the cars clean, but maybe we need to have a complete, like, whistle-stop run-through of everything now that it's been, well, nearly 2 months that we've been here. Time is flying by. And of course, we caught up with the team from Electroheads and got to have a chat, shot some things as well that will be over on their channel, covering a lot more of the EV and electric world before finding out about the EQS from Mark. So another fairly busy day. Checked out the YouTube plaques, and believe me, a lot more coming as well. It's good to be back. I've kind of missed this place, having been away myself in the USA. Great to be back here with the team, back here with the guys, back here with all of the cars. But for now, that is all. Until next time.